friends, welcome back to my channel and into my home. So we're continuing on with spring cleaning, but today we're going to be tackling all those once-a-year kitchen projects that I do to maintain my new build home. After spending months designing the finishes of my home, I developed a deeper desire to maintain those choices. Now, I knew that I wanted darker wood shaker cabinets, and that would include the challenges of keeping them clean. But like any other color or style cabinets, it's important to remove the grime that can cause damage to the finish. So, I have three main enemies to these cabinets. Food and dust that easily accumulates, we all have that. The grease that drifts above and around the stove, we also all have that. But one that we don't think about, but it's super important to think about, is the sun. I have 3 large windows on the back of my house, and the morning sun hits these cabinets. Now, I've chosen not to have window coverings because I don't want it to block the lake view, but I have researched a way to help my dark cabinets maintain its beautiful wood finish, and I'm going to share that with you here in just a few minutes. But before I show you that, I'm first going to wipe down my cabinets with my favorite microfiber cloths, some hot water with a little bit of Dawn dish soap in it. Now this will help remove the oil and the grime. And the rag that I'm using, I am wringing out really well. You don't want to have a really wet rag to leave water behind on your wood. Like I mentioned with my grout a couple of weeks ago, I like to start with the most gentle cleanser and then I work my way up. So right here is where we're going to start. Now, if you're looking for a lightweight but sturdy ladder, this one has been awesome. I feel safe climbing up on it. It has non-slip steps because I'm notorious for not wearing shoes. And I have a little tray here at the top that I can hold all my little things in. Now, I'll link this one down in the description box, along with all the other things that you see me using here today. Alright, so I was talking about using a stronger cleanser, and today I'm going to be using the Methods Heavy Duty Degreaser. Now, I have tested this on my wood, and I know the amount of time that I can leave it on the wood, and I know the amount of pressure that I can use when I'm scrubbing it off. Nowhere on the back of this bottle does it recommend using this product for wood, nor does it recommend not using it for wood. So if you want to try this, please find a hidden area, maybe on the inside of your cabinet, to test it first. I spray it on and I wipe it down quickly, and then I reapply as needed. You can see that I'm using my hand to feel if there's any stickiness of the grease that's been left behind. If so, I just do it again. I am also not rubbing hard. I do not want to ruin the finish of these cabinets, so I'm being very careful. And once I get it cleaned, I'll do a final wipe down with clear water to thoroughly remove any of the product that's left over.
Always takes too long, yeah, too long. I ain't got all weekend. We had a good run, yeah, good run, but the clock is ticking. I gotta move on, yeah, move on. I got things to do, all without you. Tell me how I can make this easier, yeah, guide me. I don't want you to get too hurt, there's no need for screams or shouts or ugly words, no. I'm done with getting hate from love, you see, love. Baby, can we kill these butterflies? They live and then they die, and that's the way I like it. I just wanna move on with my life. I've loved you for a while, and that's the way I like it. All these butterflies gotta go. I just gotta be on my own. I've been loving you for too long. All these butterflies gotta go. I just gotta be on my own. I've been loving you for too long. Too long. Move on. On my own. I've been loving you for too long. I never do the long-term stuff, so let go and hope for better luck next time, 'cause I'm done with time-consuming love, you see. Baby, can we kill these butterflies? They live and then they die, and that's the way I like it. I just wanna move on with my life. I've loved you for a while.
Even the glass pitcher here at the top of this cabinet has grease all over it, so I'm going to have to pull that down and run it through the wash.
Baby, can we kill these butterflies? They live and then they die, and that's the way I like it. I just wanna move on with my life. I've loved you for a while, and that's the way I like it. All these butterflies gotta go. I just gotta be on my own. I've been loving you for too long. All these butterflies gotta go. I just gotta be on my own. I've been loving you for too long. Too long. Move on my own. I've been loving you for too long.
I also use the soapy water to clean my knobs. And because I'm using the microfiber cloth, it really helps to pull anything off. So it doesn't take a lot of scrubbing because you have all those little fingers in that microfiber cloth that's helping you to get things off of whatever you're cleaning. As I'm working, when I feel that the water has cooled off or if I think that it's too dirty, I'll go ahead and I'll make a new batch. I have this footage sped up, but I estimate that it took me approximately 45 minutes to wipe down all the cabinets. Now the next step is going to take me twice as long as that. So I'll say all in all it took about 3 hours to take care of all these cabinets. Now after they're done, I'm going to be resealing my granite. Now this is another thing that I do once a year or more if I see that it needs it, and I'm going to show you how you can tell if your granite needs to be sealed.
I smile, but they just stare, and I see misery everywhere. It's getting to me. I cry, but they don't care. Oh, I'm getting lost in the commotion, and the sound is way too loud. 'Cause I'm not the city girl I thought I was. This town is bigger than the ocean, yet too small to fit the crowd. 'Cause I'm not the city girl I thought I was.
Okay, so I can't reach the cabinet that's right there above the refrigerator. Even if I stand on that counter, I can't reach across. So Michael will have to take care of that cabinet for me. I'm also not going to take the time to do the inside of the glass cabinets today. So before the holidays, I pull down all the dishes and I wash them because I like to use the serving dishes for our Christmas party and for other family get-togethers. And I also lend them out to my daughters for their get-togethers. So at that time, those dishes are getting cleaned and I'm wiping down, the tops of the cabinets and the inside of the cabinets. I do eventually need to get in there and use my cleanser that I'm going to show you up in those cabinets because that's going to be important to do since the sun hits it. However, I'm not going to take the time to do that here today. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rinse out the collapsible dish pan, and because I use it for other things, I'm going to go ahead and soak it in some Clorox cleanup. Okay, so every year I use Howard's feed and wax to help condition my wood. I also do this on my front door. I use just a little bit on this white cloth. It's kind of like a diaper cloth or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't have any lint on it. Anyways, I use this and only a little bit like that. And then I rub it into the wood. Now I'm going to show you how I do this. So I just go ahead and I rub it in. I don't want it too oily, but enough to where you can see it. I will be going back to wipe off any excess. You'll see that here in a minute. But anyways, I'm going to read to you what Amazon, how they describe this product because it just describes it better than I can for you. So it says it polishes all wood surfaces to a soft luster with a protective coating of carnauba wax and beeswax. It introduces conditioning oils that feed the wood and helps keep it from drying and fading. It enhances the natural beauty and depth of grain in finished and unfinished woods. For use on antiques, dining tables, kitchen cabinets, wood doors, trims, etc. It helps to prevent further drying of the wood and deterioration of the finish. It contains no silicone or linseed oils. That's important because if you put oil on the wood, it's definitely going to attract more things to the wood. So I don't want it to feel oily. Now it's going to look oily at first because when you put it on, you're wanting the wood to soak it in. You're wanting it to take a drink. Now you're going to leave this on for about 10, 15, 30 minutes, whatever. And then you'll go back and you're going to see me skim over it. And if I see any spots that has started to dry out, you'll see me apply more because I want the wood to soak in as much oil as it needs. Then I will go back and I will use a microfiber cloth and I will wipe it off. It does not take a long time to do this, but to me it's very important to do because I really want to protect the finish of my wood and I want it to stay that beautiful wood color. So you're going to watch me while I do this.
I've been working on myself. I really try my best to change, but sometimes in a love fade. Right? Maybe we should stay in bed, pretend that everything's the same. Just a little play pretend. Right?
Now, as you can see right here above the stove where I use the degreaser, it's dry right there. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some more of the wax because I want it to take a good drink in that area. So that's what you're seeing me do here. I'm just going to add a little bit more right into this area. And then when I come back through, I'll check it again. If it needs more of a drink, I'll give it some more. Eventually, it won't be drying out, and that's a good indication that it's time for me to go ahead and wipe everything off. Okay, so now that I see that everything looks good and everything's had its drink, I'm going to go ahead and use another microfiber cloth, and I'm going to buff this in. You're not having to buff a lot. You're basically just pulling off any of the excess wax off of the wood, so that way it doesn't feel oily. And it just leaves a nice shine, and you know that your wood is conditioned. It also kind of hardens on there. Whatever's left on there kind of hardens on there. So that way when the sun is hitting this, it's giving it some protection. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like after you buff it off. You see at the top, I still have the oil because I have not buffed that, but below it is where I've buffed. So you're not going to have an oily shine. You're going to have a natural shine of your wood. And it just works perfectly. When you go to touch it, you're not having fingerprints on it because it's not oily. It's a wax that hardens on there. So it works perfectly. I sure hope that you'll try this out if you have some areas that you think might need some conditioning or some protecting. This is another thing that I will link down in my description box if you want to go take a look at the reviews of it over there on Amazon.
We can cry when it's over.
Haven't seen them yet, but my daughter and two of my granddaughters are over here. Little Lyndon will make her appearance here in just a second. So we just got back from Disney World. We spent a whole week at the parks. We are worn out and we kind of feel like we need a vacation from that vacation. You know what I mean? When you have little kids or if you go to a Disney park, you kind of feel like you need a vacation afterwards. Anyways, I rested up for a couple of days before I started filming again and doing all the things. And we had a great time. Madeline's dresses were a huge hit at the Disney parks, especially with the workers. So that says a lot because those workers see a lot of Disney type dresses. So Madeline did a great job making her dresses. I'll stick a photo right here so you can see. Anyways, when you're doing your cabinets, remember to do the sides of the cabinets. I know we don't see those very often, but remember that these kind of take a beating, especially if you have little kids that are pulling themselves up and they're kicking it with their feet and things like that. So be sure you're taking care of the side cabinets too.
Every guy I've met, we fell in love at a bad time. Getting insecure, questioning myself on the way down. Now I'm so tired of breathing underwater. I just wanna float like a ship made out of paper. Right now I need to take care of myself, comforting myself like a roller coaster. One week I am up, next one I'll be down. But I'm getting closer to a stronger me, feeling free like a roller coaster. One stronger me, feeling free like a roller coaster. Grandpa used to ask why I'm single with such a pretty face. Where is your man? You should go out and chase him. Now I'm so tired of breathing underwater. I just wanna float like a ship made out of paper. So now I'm about to take care of myself, comforting myself like a roller coaster. One week I am up, next one I'll be down. But I'm getting closer to a stronger me, feeling free like a roller coaster. One stronger me, feeling free like a roller coaster. I don't need anyone else.
I'm going to spare you watching me buff all of these cabinets, but you will see me do this side and then I'll do the side with the glass windows. But behind me, I've already done those. I decided not to put the footage in because it's just repetitive and it will make this video even longer than what it already is. But anyways, as you can see, the cabinets are turning out beautiful. I'm always so happy after I get this done. Yeah, it is a little bit of work. I will admit to that, but my goodness, do you feel so accomplished in taking care of the things that God has given you? I feel so grateful for the things that God has given me, and I really do try to take good care of them. Anyways, I talked to you guys about my maintenance binder that I'm redoing. I'm redoing it for this new house. I've had it for years. I've used it in many of my other homes. But this home is very special to me because it's the first home that my husband and I have ever had built, that we put the finishes in that we really wanted. And I really want to take care of those things. So I am redoing that binder. And I will be sharing that with you here soon. Okay, here's my sweet little Linden.
We were having these ones.
Okay.
Oh, and I forgot to give you food.
Go ask Mom. She can have all those napkins.
Mom, can we have these snackies in the car?
It's always very difficult for the grandkids to figure out which snacky they want out of our snacky drawer. So she likes to have a little stack up here. That way she can decide which ones she wants and which ones her mom will allow her and her sister to have. So we're going to start out with the Pringles. And honestly, after they finished the Pringles, she didn't eat anything else from that those little snacks on the bar. But I just love having them over here. They're so precious.
One week I am up, next one I'll be down. But I'm
right, so here's my granite countertops. If you know anything about granite, you know that it's very porous. And because it's porous, it's important to seal it. You want to kind of fill in those holes, the porosity in the granite, so that way it's not holding on to bacteria, grease, things that can stain your countertops. I recently resealed right here around my kitchen sink because water tends to drip on here and it causes an issue, leaves stains, things like that. So what you want to do is you want to put like a tablespoon of water right there on your granite, and then you're going to watch it. Does it bead up? You see how it's kind of going down into my sink? It's just beading right off of there. Or is it soaking in? So you can come back in, about 30 minutes and see, is there a dark spot? Because if there's a dark spot, that means that the water's soaking in and you need to go ahead and reseal your granite. Now, like I said, here on the bar, I've already resealed it, and I also keep this underneath here just in case if there's any drips. All right, this is the sealer that I use. I always use this one. It's not very strong, as in potent when you smell it, but I do keep a breeze going. And then I just use a foam brush to put it on. So let me give you a little idea of how I do this. So first I take off everything off of the counter. You don't want anything on there. Then I go and I clean it. Now in the past I've used my Power Shot, my Bissell Power Shot, and steamed the counters to be sure I get off any grease or anything like that. If you remember, I gave the Bissell to my daughter, saying that I'll just get it from her when I need it. Well, I forgot to get it, so I don't have it, but I want to go ahead and reseal anyways. So I'm just going to do it the way that they say. Clean your counters. So you'll see me spray some, I think I use Mrs. Meyer's. No, I use Methods. Daily cleaner, antibacterial, whatever it is, and I spray it, and then I go back and I clean it and rinse it off. Then once everything dries, I will be applying the sealer, and you'll see me do that here in just a second. Okay, so I'm back and I'm going to wipe off the counter just to be sure that everything is dry. You want your counter to be nice and dry. You don't want to seal in any moisture. Then I go ahead and I give the product a good shake. You want to be sure to get all those things mixed around. And then you just pour some on your counter. You'll know eventually how much you need to pour. I start off with about a dinner plate size, and then if I need more, I'll use more. Now it tells you to only do a section about this size that you're seeing me do here, and then wait, and then go and reapply if you need to reapply or whatever you need to do. I don't do it that way. I do it much quicker, and I'm very vigilant. And what you're being vigilant of is you don't want this to dry on your counter. You want it to remain wet so that it continue to soak in. You see, I just asked Alexa to turn on the light so that I can see better. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to make sure that everything is wet. And then I'm going to go on to the next counter. And I'll do the same thing as I'm keeping watch of this one just to be sure that nothing's drying out. After a few minutes, I think it says maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes, I don't remember what it says, you'd have to look on the back of it. You would go back and you would wipe it off. I use a microfiber cloth and I wipe off any excess that's on there, and then you're done. They say that you can, put your products back on the counter, after, 15 to 30 minutes. And that after 72, or it's either 48 or 72 hours. I think it's 48 hours. I think it said 2 days. It's good as new, and you can just do whatever you want to on it. I do put the things back on the counters, but obviously I'm not going to put food down on the counters for quite some time. Now, I do end up putting too much on this one, and you'll see what happens if you put too much. Basically, it just kind of has a lot on there. And I'm just contending with a lot of product that I have to move around, and when I go to wipe it up, it's kind of sudsy or whatnot, but I eventually get it up and everything is fine. You really can't ruin this unless you allow it to dry on the counter. You don't want it to do that because I think it'll streak it if you do that. I think that's what they say, but I've never done it, so I don't know exactly what it does. Just don't let it dry on there. Be sure that you're keeping an eye on it. You want to get it, good and wet. Leave it on for ever long as they say that it is, and then wipe it off, and then you're good as new. This honestly took me about 45 minutes to do these two side counters. Of course, I've already done the bar, so I don't have to do that. But these two sections that you see me doing are 3 sections, since there's the one on the other side of the stove. It took me about 30 minutes, and then once it dries, wipe everything off with your microfiber cloth, and it leaves a beautiful shine, and then you're sealed. And apparently you can expect that it's going to stay sealed for a year. You should repeat this every year. Over there by my sink, I do more often, and right here next to the stove where oil can splatter on, I do that more often because, for obvious reasons, like I use the degreaser. And I use it right there on that counter. It's really going to pull up that sealant. So I like to go ahead and reseal in these areas. As you can see, I just flip my rag over and over until I get, a dry spot. That way I can get everything soaked up into the cloth. And then you just wash these cloths. They'll be fine. I always hand wash them with some soap and, some warm water, get them good and clean, at least clean out the products. And then I go ahead and I just throw them in the wash with my other microfiber cloths. So don't worry about these products ruining your microfibers. Anyways, now my counters are sealed and they're good to go for a year, or like I said, in those certain areas, I'll add some more. But it's nice knowing that the counters are now safe, and they're not going to get discolored. They're not going to get stained. They're not going to trap in any bacteria. So if you put something on the counter, open food that's not on a plate and you set it on the counter, you're not having to worry about bacteria getting into it because the bacteria has settled down into the pores of your counter.
I'll do whatever you want. It's all good to pull you down. I might not give you my heart, but you get up the rest of me. I don't think twice, baby, sit tight, 'cause we gotta kill the vibe. Don't be shy, stay the whole night, 'cause we gotta kill the vibe. See the fireplace is good to go.
All right, so now that I got my counters all cleaned, I want to go ahead and clean the products that were on the counter because I don't want to bring dirty products back over there. So I'm going to use another microfiber cloth. I love these microfiber cloths. Like I said, they're like little fingers, and they just really grab onto germs and oils and gunk that's on your products. So it's less time of me scrubbing, and oftentimes I don't even have to use product with it. So anyways, I'm going to wipe everything down, and then I'm going to put everything back on there, change some things now that it's into fall. I'm going to change a few things. I'm certainly not decorating on this video for fall. You'll see that. But I will be decorating, and I'll show you that in an upcoming video.
Started out so small. We drank and then we talked. She got to know me, I got to know her, and suddenly it's war. Then peace on and off. It's getting to me, I'm getting to her. Here's what I've been thinking. Here's what I would do when two people are sinking. You should get them out the pool. Here's what I've been thinking. I don't know what else to do, so I'm forever calling her truth. She's a roller coaster ride going up, down. I'm forced to feel feelings that I can't fight. Not 20 anymore, gotta realize.
Okay, so I pretty much like how everything was set up before, but I am going to change the cookbook. I do that every season, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out my Magnolia Home one. My daughter got me this one, and I like the white book over here for the fall and things like that. Anyways, I put the lamp back over here, but I don't show it on here. But that night, the night that after I did this, I'm like, you know what? I think I want the lamp in the corner. And speaking of lamps, one thing that didn't get filmed, but I was filming during the time, was one of my lamps in the living room, my big lamps. One of them fell. They got knocked over and crashed on the floor. So I've been looking at Kirkland's for a replacement of the lamp, was not able to find one. So I decided to go with something else. I was thinking that maybe I might want to do a black lamp on the table since I've been introducing quite a bit of black into the house. So I went to Kirkland's and I picked up a couple of black lamps. I have put them over on my side table, side tables, either side of the couch, just to see how well I like them. I'm going to give it a few days, and if I don't like them, I'll just change them out. So either way I go, you'll see some new lamps on those side tables in an upcoming video.
I'm too over puppy love. Party's getting weaker by the years now. Can't take it anymore, need a time out. Not 20 anymore, gotta realize that I'm too over puppy love. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, friends, so this is how everything turned out. The cabinets look beautiful. The counters are now sealed and shiny as I like them. And I'm good for the rest of the year. So I think that's a big thumbs up for me. So if you like this video, give me a big thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you enjoy my videos. And if you haven't already subscribed, I hope that you'll click that red subscribe button and press the notification bell so that you get reminded every time I post a new video. And at the end of this video, I'm going to add a playlist of videos that I did last spring with each of my 3 daughters in their homes where we organized and reorganized their very unique pantries. I hope that you'll go over to see those and you'll get to meet my daughters if you haven't met them already. Okay, I'll see you again in next Sunday's video. Until then, stay blessed, my friends.
I'm too over puppy love. Heart is getting weaker by the years now. Can't take it anymore.